Having a Navy Federal pledge loan is one of the easiest ways to boost your credit and to thicken your credit profile. So in today's lesson, I will explain how to get a pledge loan and how you can use the pledge loan to boost your credit all in one. So if you stay to the end, I'm also gonna give you the hack that everyone is actually using, including myself. So with that being said, go get your pen and paper and let's dive in. All right, guys, so the first thing I just want to ask you guys, if you don't mind, please just hitting that like button for me. It truly helps my channel out. I really appreciate you guys' support. All right, now let's get back to this pledge loan hack. So I know you've been always hearing Navy Federal pledge loan this, Navy Federal pledge loan that, hack this, hack that. I know you've probably seen mixed reviews on it, things of that nature, but I'm gonna give you the full breakdown of how a Navy Federal pledge loan actually implements on your credit profile. So let's get into what is actually a Navy Federal pledge loan. First and foremost, it's a glitch in the credit matrix. Well, for educational purposes, it's actually a glitch in the credit wheel, but we'll get into more of that later. It actually helps boost your payment history and boost your credit mix all at the same time. So it boosts the biggest section on your credit profile, and it also helps you diversify your credit profile by having a different credit product all in a sense. So right there, it's a glitch in the matrix all in itself. So it's an installment loan that is backed by your own savings. Let me explain. Even by any other loan that you ever take out, it's never backed by your own savings. It's actually the bank's money that's actually loaned to you. But with a Navy Federal pledge loan, it's more like a secured savings loan. There's only a select few of credit unions and banks that actually give this to their customers, and Navy Federal being the top creme de la creme, I promise you. You're literally taking your own money and shifting it into a loan, i.e. secured savings loan or pledge loan. The minimum that it can be is $250, and it can range all the way up to $100,000. I'm pretty sure that you can do more than 100,000, but that's all I've ever actually seen people actually do is 100,000. It just depends on how much money you have and how much money you want to disperse throughout this loan. Does that make sense? Because again, you have to keep in mind, there's a difference between, again, loans and secured savings loans. Again, you're using your own money, but with an actual loan, you're using the bank's money. So again, you can use however much money you want, and I promise you it would always work out in your favor. Keep that in mind. So with just the information I've given you, just to piggyback off of that, you can actually build your credit by always having positive on-time payments with this actual pledge loan in itself. Think about how impactful it can be, with your payment history being, again, 35% on the credit wheel, meaning it's number one. So that means if you ever miss any type of payment on your credit report, and I hope you never do, it significantly drops your credit score 100 points at the minimum. At the minimum, people. It doesn't matter where you're at on the credit wheel, it drops your points 100 points or more. So that means it's impacting your payment history, which again is 35%, and your credit mix, which is 10%. So that equals up to what? 45% of your credit just coming from this product alone. So you mean to tell me I can get positive standings to 45% of my credit and not even having to use the bank's money? I can use my own money, but to finesse it on my credit report to make it look like I have this large type of loan on my credit report? It's a win-win either way, because you got to remember, when it's on your actual credit report itself, it doesn't say Navy Federal pledge loan or secured savings loan or anything like that. It only says Navy Federal loan. That's all it says. So when you try to go apply to another institution for any type of credit product or anything of that nature, you have to remember, when their underwriters are looking at your credit report, they're going to see that you had a Navy Federal loan. And even if it was a pledge loan, and if it's in positive standing, or even if it was paid off, that's checking a box right there. That gives you closer to getting whatever credit product you need in the future. See what I'm saying? That is why I'm trying to tell you, everyone fights to get Navy Federal pledge loans. It takes up almost half of your credit. I'm telling you, be one of those ones that gets this on your credit profile ASAP. So now that we got all the education out of the way, let's get into the step-by-step process. So how do I actually get a Navy Federal pledge loan? Well, the first thing that you have to do is be a member. It's so crazy that I still have to stay that still to this day. Again, you'd be surprised how many times I get emails of people always trying to get products from Navy Federal, but they're not members. Again, I know people like, sometimes you jump the gun, you get trigger happy, things of that nature. But guys, you have to be members of these credit unions and banks to get these products. They're just not handing it out like free candy. But now that you're an actual member, let's get into how you can actually get it. So when you actually get into your Navy Federal account, you're actually going to have to put a specific amount of money that you want to actually convert into an actual pledge loan itself. Remember, the minimum balance is $250. So let's just say, for a quick example, let's just say that you have $500 that you want to convert into a pledge loan. So you would simply take that money that's in your checking account and you will simply transfer it to your savings account, thus saving you time in the future. And trust me, it's gonna save you a couple of seconds, I promise you. If the money's already in your savings account, then you don't have to worry about it. You can just probably go on to step number 2. The next thing that I need you to do is actually go into a branch, but don't fret, don't worry. If you're not close to a branch, you can easily call Navy Federal. You can always call them up and do the same thing, so either or is fine. And remember, again, I'm going to continue to say this, the minimum balance that you can do with a Navy Federal pledge loan is $250. And another thing that's dope about this whole process is you don't have to worry about it. It's a soft pull on your credit report. There are no hard pulls, people. So you can rinse and repeat this over and over, just thickening and boosting your credit profile. Keep that in mind. Now, when you call in and you get a rep on the line, they will ask you how much or what is the amount that you actually want to apply to the pledge loan. And if we are still using the example that I was giving you earlier, you can say, the $500 that's in my savings. But again, let's say you forgot to put the money into your savings account. It's not the end all be all. The actual representative can just easily transfer the money from your checking account to your actual savings account. But again, this is what I mean by saving you time, just being on the phone while they're just clicking away when you could have just did it yourself. It's no big deal. Now, once all that information is done, you have all the money into your savings account, they will start the process of getting everything configured. Now, again, you will have to go over the terms and conditions. It's super simple, and they will let you know that they will have to go over a brief progress, a brief process, or anything of that nature. But you don't have to worry, ladies and gents. I promise you, you're gonna get instantly approved. I promise you. They don't check your credit or nothing like that. As long as you have the funds that are there, that's accessible, you have nothing to worry about. And once you get approved, you will have to sign an electronic document. You will have to sign this, and you can easily do it through the app. You don't have to print anything out or anything like that. Now, once you actually sign these electronic documents, the money that you actually approve for the loan will immediately be frozen by Navy Federal. But hang on, don't chop my head off. They're not gonna take your money. They're not gonna take it for good or nothing like that. Just hang on, just let me talk. I'm telling you, let me cook. So basically what they're going to do is they're actually going to freeze the money that's actually in your savings account. If we go back to the actual example itself, the $500. So they're going to freeze the $500. You're not going to see it in your checking account for a couple of hours, probably for the rest of the day, whenever you did it. But it takes around 24 to 48 hours for them to give the money back to you. All right. So let's just say you did it on a Thursday night. Friday morning or probably Friday afternoon, you open your app back up and you'll possibly see somewhere towards the bottom, you'll see Navy Federal Pledge Loan, and you'll see all the information right there. And then after that, you'll see the money going back into your checking and or savings account, i.e. the $500. Because when you're on the phone with the representative, they're going to ask, how do you want this money dispersed back to you? Do you want it by check? Do you want it by checking account? Things of that nature. You can say, I want it in my checking account, just so you can get it right then and there. So that's how it's actually going to be. The money's only going to be gone for not even a few hours, and it's going to be right back into your checking account, I promise you, or however you did it. So how much money you chose to pay towards the loan will be immediately given back to you again. You see how this is a glitch and it's a soft pull? Pledge loans are way more beneficial than loans due to it being your own money and you're just using it as collateral. Think about it. And you can actually choose what date that you actually want to make these payments. You can either make the payments either weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly. It's actually all up to you in terms of the conditions that you actually want to apply for. Just as long as you keep the money in your account and you pay it off. Please be smart, people. Now that you understand what and how, let's get into the actual pledge loan hack that everybody, including myself, is actually using as of right now. I'm currently using this just to thicken and boost my credit report even more, even though I have excellent credit. You can never be too sure or have too many positive things going on in your credit report. Always remember that. People are actually getting these pledge loans and actually paying 80 to 90% of it off. And I know you probably heard mixed reviews about this or probably wondering why the heck are they doing this? But let me explain. Well, let me explain by actually giving you an example. Let's say that you have out a $20,000 Navy Federal pledge loan. And when it reports to your credit report, it's actually going to show that you owe 100% of it. So why not beat it to the punch, because it's going to take 30 days for it to hit your credit report. Why not pay 80 to 90% of it off? So when it does actually hit your credit report, it's actually in great standing and stated that you're almost paid off. So now I won't say you just owe flat out $20,000. It will say that you owe, if you pay 90% of it off, $2,000. It'll say that you have that left. 80 to 90% of it off, increasing your credit profile value, and you actually have a credit product on there that is 90% paid off. You can't get any better than that. So if you want to go to another institution and you're trying to get something that's $30, $40, $50,000 or whatever, or auto loan, it actually shows on your credit report that you're actually financially responsible with a $20,000 loan that's almost paid off. So these other institutions feel comfortable giving you an even higher limit for whatever product that you're actually going for. And again, since you actually paid a chunk of this off, means that your next payment probably won't be due until next year. So you can actually just put the rest of the actual payment on autopilot. So as you can see, the Navy Federal pledge loan is a serious must-have. You can actually rinse and repeat the process as many times as you want. I'm telling you, if you can get 3 to 4 pledge loans actually on your credit report, the more the merrier. I hope you found this video helpful, and I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Make sure that you go get a Navy Federal pledge loan and you go and thicken and boost your credit scores and profile right now. Again, I thank you guys for stopping by, and until next time, ladies and gents.